शिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। श्लोक नंबर 55। अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते यः सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायम् कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते। Arjuna asked the question to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, what are the characteristics of a person who has got steady wisdom? Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha. And he further clarified, Kim prabhasheta, how will he verbally respond to different situations? And Kim asita, how he will sit, and how he will vrajet, how he will interact with the world. What will be his approach while interacting with the world? What will be his verbal response? And what will be his mental state when he is not interacting with the world. And Bhagavan gave the first description of wise person. The wise person is the one who is free from all binding desires because of having complete satisfaction with oneself. When I am completely satisfied with myself, I am appreciating fulfillment in myself. I am the source of fulfillment. I am the source of satisfaction. With the Swamiji used to use very beautiful expression. I am the meaning of the word satisfaction. I am the meaning. So satisfaction is my Swarupa. Satisfaction implies Purnatvam. So Purnatvam is my nature. I don't have to seek Purnatvam outside. And therefore what? There is no any binding desires. That was the prime Lakshana. And then it was said that person will not be disturbed in any uncomfortable situation, nor he will have any craving when comfortable situation comes that he wants more and more. Such things are not there. And nabhinandati nadveshti. He will not criticize anything or he will not hate anything mentally or verbally. Thus, Bhagavan talked about the Lakshana, the characteristics of a person of steady wisdom. And we have seen the purpose of this description is to develop this quality deliberately. How do I become free from desires, binding desires? Some factors are there. One is that we stop comparing ourselves with others. Many of our desires are there because we compare ourselves with others. Many things we really don't need, but my neighbor has, my brother-in-law has, my brother has, therefore I should have. So we drop those things. That I ask whether it is required for any what is called realistic reason, or just because somebody has, therefore I want to have. So we stop or reduce at least comparing ourselves with others, and we reduce our tendency to judge ourselves based on our possessions. As somebody said, you are not really happy or great because of what you have. You are great because of what you are. So try to discover that fulfillment in yourself rather than trying to feel great based on possessions. So some people, they wear rings in all the fingers, even this thumb also. All five hand fingers, both sides rings, and try to have this watch, and also every now and then he will be doing like this. So means I am looking upon myself in terms of my possessions. So it is really beggarliness. So you see the beggarliness in it. And slowly I said that I will have things which are required. I will not try to have things to show off. If I require mobile, I will have mobile, not to show off my mobile. Require computer required, so you use it. But some people will try to show off that they have got latest Apple model, 13 or 14, whatever it is. That we can reduce. As a sadhaka, how we can reduce our desires even before Atmik Dhyana. Because wise person is free from binding desires because of knowledge. Abidance in knowledge. That abidance in knowledge, if it has not come, still we can reduce the desire by viveka. And similarly, having this dukkheshu anudvigdamanaha sukheshu vigata spruhaha means not getting disturbed, unduly disturbed in this uncomfortable situation and not getting overwhelmed in comfortable situations. How? By prasada buddhi. So at our level, whatever we can do, we do. As somebody said very nicely, just because I cannot do everything, I don't stop doing something. Just because I cannot have Dhan Nishtha right now, so I will not have the results of Dhan Nishtha. But whatever is the result of Dhan Nishtha, in relative measure, we can have by something else. Whatever is available to you, use it. Prasada Buddhi you can have. So that prasada buddhi will make me relatively free from getting disturbed. And thus, Bhagavan talked about the characteristics and also indirectly the means or the sadhanas to be followed by a sadhaka. Now from the 58 shloka up to 68, 11 shlokas, Bhagavan is going to talk about the sadhanas, the means for Jnana-nishtha. When a person has Jnana-nishtha, what happens? It was described from 55 to 57, 4 shlokas. When you have Jnana-nishtha, this will be the expression of Jnana-nishtha. Jnana-nishtha means abidance in understanding that I am limitless Brahma. But how to get this Jnana-nishtha? It is something like if you become Prime Minister, you will have this, you will have this, you will have this. But how to become Prime Minister, you tell me? So if you have Jnana Nishtha, all these things will happen. But how to get this Jnana Nishtha? For that, Bhagavan is presenting here mainly 3 sadhanas. Dhamma, the mastery over the organs. Shama, mastery over the mind. And Nididhyasanam, contemplation. These sadhanas are prescribed for the person who already has done Shravana, Manana, and to some extent he has got Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. Enough for doing Shravana. But for Nididhyasanam, little bit more Shamadama required. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti is required. And so Bhagavan is re-emphasizing this Shamadama for the sadhana of Nididhyasanam, which will give us Jnana-nishtha. And firstly, from 58 to 61, Dhamma, the sadhana of Dhamma, the mastery over the organs is required. And we have seen that Dhammaha, generally they translate as sense control, does not mean we stop using the organs. Stop using the organs is not mastery, as we saw in the last class. You cannot say, I have full mastery over my car. Why? Because it is in the garage. If it is in the garage, you have mastery. The car doesn't do anything. So keeping the car in the garage is not called mastery over the car. You are driving the car and not meeting with any accident, not bumping on some other car, and driving properly, not going, to the ditch, then it is mastery. Similarly, stop using the organs completely or suppressing the organs, that is not mastery. Using the organs, but using appropriately, using where it is required and withdrawing where it is not required. Like tortoise. The tortoise is withdrawing the organs when there is risk, and when the risk is not there, it extends the legs. Similarly, the sadhaka withdraws the organs whenever it is moksha unfriendly, when it is not conducive to the pursuit of knowledge, pursuit of moksha, then all those sense objects, this I withdraw from. That is called dhamma. Using the car, like using the car, using the brake, using accelerator appropriately. So sometimes you have to press this brake only, sometimes accelerator. Every time brake, that is not car driving the car. Every time accelerator, that is not driving the car. Both you have to use appropriately. Similarly, when to extend our organs to contact with the sense objects and when to withdraw. That discretion with reference to the usage of the organs is called Dhammaha. For example, one of the important organ we have to be more careful is our tongue. Talking tongue and tasting tongue. Tasting tongue means eating tongue. So many people have this, Swamiji, I have got weakness for food. I think first somebody told me there is no weakness for food. I thought he has got weakness with reference to eating food means he can't eat or something. That's what I understood. Then I understood weakness for food means he cannot resist. Even though he has got sugar problem, he has to eat. So, with regard to eating, I cannot stop. Swamiji, I cannot stop. In fact, there was one advertisement of one particular potato chips or something. You cannot eat one. Have you heard this? You cannot eat one. Means if you eat one, you will definitely eat second. They are so powerful. So, if you have got this Dhamma, you can challenge those people. I can eat one. Stop. Many people say, Swamiji, if not doing at all is relatively easy, but doing very discreetly, in a measured way, that is difficult. Swamiji, you ask me to keep maunam completely, I can do it. But once, Swamiji, I start, very difficult. One person was telling, Swamiji, generally I don't talk to anybody. But Swamiji, once I start, no Swamiji, I have difficulty to stop. That also is a lack of Dhamma. Dhamma means what? To the extent required, you can speak. And when it is to be stopped, you are able to stop. Eating, you eat. But when it is to be stopped, you stop. Your spouse should not tell, hey, don't eat, stop now. So that, so there was some song like this that, bahut khaya na karo. No, that is, don't eat too much. So, idea is that wherever, in whichever area sense organs are to be employed, we employ it with discretion. And that is said here, that just as the tortoise is withdrawing the organs, withdrawing the limbs, similarly this sadhaka who withdraws the organs when required from the sense object, that sadhaka alone, with the help of Nididhyasanam, will attain this Jnana-nishtha. And then in the 59th shloka which we were seeing in the last class, Bhagavan made a note that Dhamma is very important, but don't think by practicing Dhamma itself you will attain the ultimate. Mere Dhamma will not do the job. Dhamma is very useful, but Dhamma is not ultimate. Why? Because you can withdraw sense organs from the sense objects, but the taste for the objects, the liking for the objects will not go away. It will remain. And when it remains, what will happen? Your mind will go to the sense object. Your organs do not go. Like many times you must have seen that you are asked not to eat and therefore you don't eat. But when others are eating, your mind goes there. Or even if we are not in the dining hall or the kitchen, our mind goes to that object again and again. So that is called rasa. So Bhagavan said that for a person who is withdrawing from the sense objects, for that person, rasavarjam vishayaha vinivartante. The objects drop off for that person, but rasavarjam, having left the taste for the objects. And because of that taste for the object, the mind will be distracted. Then when will the taste also will go away? He says, param drishtva nivartate. The sense object, the taste for the object The vasana in the other language, the vasana for the objects will go away only by appreciating with abidance, I am Purnaha. Param Drishtva, by seeing this fact very clearly that I am limitless Brahma, by that alone even the fancy for the object will go away. By that, what is the message given? That Dhamma is a good starting point, but Dhamma should not be the ending point, the last point. Means don't stop your sadhana with Dhamma. Dhamma is very helpful, but Dhamma itself will not make you attain the ultimate goal of life. So what is required? Parama-darshanam. So appreciating oneself to be limitless Brahma, that is required even after getting Dhamma. So Paradarshanam is required, and for Paradarshanam, whatever sadhana, nididhyasanam, that is required. So by this shloka, the message conveyed is that Dhamma is useful, but Dhamma will not make you completely free from this bondage of this likes and dislikes. Still, you will continue to have the fancy, these vasanas for the objects. And those vasanas will go away only when you get jnana nishtha, only when you get this abiding knowledge. And in the last class, we had stopped with this question that here there is a catch-22 situation, means mutual dependence situation. What is that? When the rasa goes away, my raga, rasa means raga. When my raga goes away, then only I can get samyak darshanam, right knowledge. And when the right knowledge, abiding knowledge comes, then only my raga can go. So vasanas will go away only when I have got Paramatma darshanam, Atma darshanam. But Atma darshanam can come only when raga goes away. It is something like person is told that your health will be alright if you do exercise. But he can do exercise only if he becomes alright. He is lying in the bed. So if he becomes alright, he can do exercise. But if he does exercise, then only he will be alright. That is a catch-22 situation. And we do have such catch-22 situations. In fact, sometimes the bank, for some people they create such a problem. They say when we go to the bank for a loan, he said for a loan, this many conditions are required. And those conditions will be fulfilled only when you don't need loan. So when you need loan, that time they are asking for those conditions in which you don't require loan. So if you have those conditions, you don't require loan. And when you require loan, you don't have those conditions. We have catch-22 situations. They say the bank gives the loan, making sure that the person doesn't need loan. In fact, for Guru also we say this catch-22. That can you find out, can you ascertain that this person is Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru? When you want somebody to be your Guru, then you have heard that my Guru should be Shrotriya Brahmanishta. Now, can you find out that this other person is Shrotriya Brahmanishta? When you are in need of Guru, can you find out? You cannot find out. Because to find out other person is Shrotriya Brahmanishta, you yourself require Shrotriyatvam Brahmanishtatvam to very large extent. And therefore, when you need Guru, you cannot find out whether other person is Shrotriya Brahmanishta. And when you can find out other person is Shrotriya Brahmanishta, you don't need Guru. We have that catch-22 situation. If you do business, you get money. But for getting money, you have to do business. For money you require business, and for business you require money. Catch 22. So for class also it happens. If you like the class, you will come. But if you come, then only you will like the class. That's what I tell you, catch 22 situation in so many places there. Alright. But still we handle. How you handle, The general principle is this. When A depends upon B and B depends upon A, then we bring in the factor C to snap this mutual dependence provisionally. Like for health you require exercise, for exercise you require health. So what do? You get health by some medicine, etc. To the extent that you can do some exercise. So exercise you cannot do to get the health because you are not well enough to do the exercise. So exercise depends upon health, health depends upon exercise. In that situation what we do? By medicine we bring some health so that we can do some exercise. And that some exercise will bring some health, little more health. The little more health will help you to do more exercise. Then more health, more exercise. That is how we do. In fact, we are doing it. That's how we do. So here question is what? If I am free from rasa, vasanas, raga, then I can get this samyak darshanam, abiding knowledge. If I get abiding knowledge, then only I can be free from raga. So in this situation, what is to be done? By some viveka, I reduce my raga. By dosha darshanam, by seeing the limitations of the objects of raga, I dilute my raga. The sthula raga is reduced. Very gross, powerful raga is reduced. And that will create the atmosphere for gaining samyak darshanam, abiding knowledge to some extent. And that abiding knowledge will become the basis for reducing your raga. And your raga is further reduced, and then further abiding knowledge can come. So the answer to the question is that by viveka, you reduce the intensity of raga so that you are able to pursue this self-knowledge, and that self-knowledge will reduce raga further, and you will have finally abiding knowledge. That is how we do. So here also Bhagavan showed that Dhamma is very useful, but Dhamma is not ultimate. Therefore, you should not ignore the sadhana of this nididhyasanam required for abiding knowledge. And in the next shloka, again Bhagavan is emphasizing the sadhana of Dhamma. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipashchitaha indriyani pramathini harante prasabham manaha. So we can see Bhagavan's approach is balancing from both sides. In the 58th shloka, he prescribed and showed the importance of Dhamma by saying that one who withdraws the organs, that person alone will have the abiding wisdom. So when it is said like this, person thinks, oh, Dhamma alone is everything. And then Bhagavan said, no, Dhamma itself is not everything. Dhamma is not good enough to make the person free from this ragadveshas. Ragadveshas will go completely only by abiding wisdom comes by nididhyasana. So Bhagavan is little bit, he played it down, the importance of Dhamma. So first highlighted, then showed the limitation, and when person hears that, oh, Dhamma does not do everything. So again person becomes what? Indifferent to Dhamma. Then again Bhagavan put like a pressure, more then we have to release. Again it becomes too low, again we have to put. So Bhagavan is again showing the importance of Dama. In the sadhana, one of the important principle is balancing approach. Most of the sadhakas, they always have some extreme stand about something. Either they will be totally careless about their habits, or they are so obsessed with this observation of their habits and being too strict about the habits, being too strict about the perception through sense organs, that all the time feeling guilty about it. Either feeling guilty or either feeling careless. Between they will be swinging between this carelessness or guilty. Both are wrong. Some people is too obsessed and therefore guilty. Oh Swamiji, I spoke like this. Today I ate one idli more. I have decided 3 idlis, but today were so soft, so I took 4. So guilty. Either guilty because of too much obsession with this Dhamma, or totally careless. Swamiji, I suppress, and then I decided I will not follow any rule. So now only rule I follow. What? No rule. That is my rule. No rule at all. So both are not correct. Sadhaka means there should be moderation. We give importance to Dhamma, the mastery over the organs. At the same time, don't become too obsessed that it creates guilt in you. You all the time remain depressed. Why? Because every day 5-6 violation will be there. You must be having some chart that Dhamma means this Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, in that what I did, in Sparsha what I did, or whether I violated. So you always have some basis for feeling guilty. And therefore, you don't grow in your pursuit. Guilt is a highly crippling thing. It makes the person incapable of moving further. Whenever person feels guilty, he cannot progress further. And therefore, guilt should not be there. At the same time, carelessness should not be there. What should be there? Alertness should be there. Neither guilt nor carelessness. Alertness. Sincerity. And that is being suggested here, that sadhaka should not take this Dhamma for granted. When Swamiji used to give a very nice example, he said, the security guards of Prime Minister, are they afraid of threat? No, they are not afraid. You see, there is no fear on their face. At the same time, they are not careless. The Prime Minister is telling the joke and he also is laughing and he is engrossed in that. And somebody comes and hits the Prime Minister. That is not that. In fact, you will hardly see any what is called feelings and all on their face. Means they are totally focused, but not afraid. They are not afraid. So we need to be like this. So we are not frightened of the sense organs, nor we are careless about sense organs. And that is called moderation, required approach for a sadhaka. Not afraid, not careless. And that is why Bhagavan says here, don't take this Dhamma for granted just because it is not ultimate. Because in the previous sloka it is said ultimate. Thoda loose ho gaya. So again Bhagavan is tightening. So that's what, loosening, tightening, that's what in sadhaka's life keeps happening. So either he is too loose, then I have to tighten a little bit. So that there is a moderation. So here he says, Hey Kaunteya, Purushasya, for a person who is yatataha api, even though he is making some efforts in the direction of Shamadama, and Vipashchitaha, he is very intelligent. Even he reads Shastra, intelligent, learned to very great extent. But even for such a person, Pramathaini Indriyani Manam Prasavam Haranti. Even for such a person, two adjectives are used. Yatataha api, even though he is making some efforts. Vipashitaha, he has got intelligence, he is intelligent. Vishesham pashyati, seeing little bit more than other people means he is studying Shastra. But still, the organs, Indriyani, haranti, take away manaha, the mind of the person. The sense organs take away the mind of the person to the sense objects. And the adjective used for Indriyani, pramathini, turbulent, very powerful they are. The sense organs have got their own power to distract the mind. Nowadays it is more distraction. So you are studying and this mobile will ting, sound came. So what happens, that sound no will take your mind to that check karo, emergency. And you know, message is what? Good morning, that's all. That's the message. Call came. So you run. What is that? Missed call. That's what. Or spam call. So you can see it now. In fact, that the areas of distraction are increased so much. So many ways the mind can be distracted by the sense organs. Indriyani, we are pramathini, turbulent. The turbulent organs, manaha haranti. And to show the force of the organs, Bhagavan uses the word prasabham. Prasabham means forcefully. The sense organs forcefully take away the mind into the activities. Many people say, Swamiji, when I meet this person, no, we somehow enter into this politics, discussion on politics, and then we fight. So I have decided I will not talk about politics, not talk about this politics. Or some other topic, a topic about this some property, I will not discuss about it. Swamiji, somehow it happens. So my organs are taking away my mind to different objects. Even though person is very intelligent, otherwise very intelligent, and he is making some efforts, still organs can take away the mind. You must have seen many people are very, very intelligent, but they are addicted to so many things. So that intelligence is not used there. As an intelligent person, he should know this, that this particular addiction is destroying me, my health, physical health, my relationship with others, my social life, my financial health, everything it is destroyed by this. Still, prasabham mana. Indriyas are taking away the mind. Therefore, idea is that do not take this mastery over the organs for granted. You cannot say that so far nothing happened and therefore nothing will happen. It is something like on the road, you know. So far he said, Swami, no vehicle came on the way, therefore I slept up. You cannot do that. So far no vehicle came, Swamiji, in between no vehicle came, therefore I slept up. You cannot do that. When you are driving, you have to be alert. So far nothing happened and therefore I became careless. No? But human mind tends to do that. That is why in this the road engineering, they teach one thing, that after some few kilometers, even though curve is not required, they will put a curve. To break the monotony in driving. When I studied this, I was surprised, my God, that for this purpose also they have to put a curve. Because the driver is straight at me, curve is there, he has to do something. So, human mind has this tendency that when so far not a major mishap happened and therefore take it for granted. So, Bhagavan said, don't take it for granted. So, they say in English, there is a nice expression, never lower your guards. Means, you need to be alert all the time. Not afraid, frightened. उजाला हमारे साथ रहना, न जाने किस गली में अंधेरा हो जाए. So, anytime anything can happen. Therefore, be alert. So we keep the watchman. It doesn't mean that every day some thief will come. Still keep, no? We may think, oh, thief can come only once in a year. So for 364 days we are giving free salary. Just without doing anything, watchman is given salary. Do you feel that? No. It is not that. We have to have this alertness. So Bhagavan gave the message. So by this shloka, Bhagavan is not frightening us. If you see, the language is a little bit frightening. That even for a learned person, even who is making efforts, the sense organs will drag away the mind forcefully. So we may be frightened. Oh my God, so Indriyas are so powerful, so powerful. I am so weak, I am so weak. That is not the message. Message is that remain alert. Puja Swamiji is very nicely said. He said, alert living, alert and vigilant living is sadhana. What is sadhana? Alert and vigilant living is sadhana. Sadhana doesn't mean that you have to do particular activities all the time. This is sadhana. Remaining alert to the operations of the organs, remaining vigilant to the goal of life, or other way, alert about the goal and vigilant about the mind and the organs. That is sadhana, and that is said here in this shloka. And in the next shloka, Bhagavan is concluding the topic of damaha. Tani sarvani sanyamya yukta asita matparaha vashe hi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. So in the previous shloka, Bhagavan explained the importance of this damaha, mastery over the organs. And therefore he says here, therefore, tani sarvani sanyamya asita. One should remain. Asita means one should remain. How? Sarvani tani sanyamya. Having mastered those organs. Which is Swamiji used to use the word mastery rather than controlling. Generally we use the word I have to control the organs. When you use the word control, there is some tug of war, there is some tension, idea of tension is conveyed. Instead of that, there is a mastery. When you have mastery, you don't have tension. Master is relaxed, supposed to be relaxed. So master is alert, not tensed. And therefore our approach is having the mastery rather than all the time having this controlling tendency. So tani sarvani sanyamya. Having mastered all the organs, one should remain. So here the sadhana of dhamma was emphasized. And one more sadhana is introduced, shamaha, that is by yuktaha. Yuktaha means having the mastery over the mind. Now mastery over the mind means what? People have these different ideas. Mastery over the mind means my mind should stop thinking. Mind should not have too many thoughts. People think that having too many thoughts, that is called lack of mastery. That is not that. You can have thoughts. And even more thoughts, not a problem. But the thoughts which are not distracting me from my pursuit. Shamaha means my ability to direct the mind to the job on my hand. Whatever I am supposed to be doing, focusing, for that mind is available. The availability of the mind for doing what is to be done, to be thought what is to be thought, that is called mastery over the mind. It is not that all the time mastery, this mind should be exactly doing what you, exactly like doing the same job. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. So you decided, my whole day, Swamiji, 24 hours, I want to do this Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. And it doesn't do. therefore I don't have mastery over the mind. That is a wrong conclusion. Mind is not designed to repeat the same thoughts for all waking hours. In fact, it will become mechanical. So it is not that all the time mind should be thinking about a particular topic only. That is not required. But whenever mind is required for a particular pursuit of study, Shravanam, Mananam or Nididhyasanam, it is available. When required, it is available. That is called mastery. Otherwise, you leave the mind alone. Don't become too judgmental about the mental conditions. People have this as a sadhaka, especially in this Vedanta pursuit, when they enter, they keep on judging myself. Swamiji, I have so many bad thoughts. I am not a good person. I am disqualified. I cannot get moksha. At least not in this janma. All these things come because a person judges himself, herself based on the mental conditions. Yes, we try to refine the thoughts, we try to direct our thoughts in proper direction. All these are fine. But don't become too obsessed about these conditions, the feelings of the mind. Then that itself creates the mental problem. When you become too obsessed about the mental condition, then there is a mental issue. Not a good experiment, but if you think too much about anything, you become obsessive, and that it can lead to some issues, OCD, etc. There is no obsession with anything, but mastery over the mind means mind is available when required. Not all the time available, but whenever required, it is available. That is called here yukta. And here in this context, when I want to do this nididhyasanam, mind is available. When I want to study shastra, mind is available. That is called yukta. So shamaha is talked about. The next sadhana is suggested nididhyasanam by the word matparaha. Matparaha means a person for whom I am the ultimate goal, and a person who has got commitment to appreciate me, limitless Brahman, as oneself. So Matparaha is suggesting the sadhana of nididhyasana, contemplation. And by this one more thing is suggested. Don't keep the mind idle. Some people have this value. Swamiji, I want to make my mind thoughtless. I want to make my mind thoughtless. Thoughtlessness should not be a goal. Thoughtlessness can be a goal for the people who are thoughtless already. Then only the such goal can come. See, mind is designed for thinking. Why you want to have this goal which is opposite to the purpose of the mind? It is something like, some people are very, very possessive and possessive about their car. Therefore what? They don't use the car. What do they use? In fact, one lady was telling Swamiji, in our house we have so many gadgets, but all of them are in the loft only. We don't use it. What is the use of having the gadgets when they are not at all used? Similarly, what is the use of having the mind when you don't want to use it? So, not using the mind at all is not the goal of a sadhana. I want to keep the mind spotless. I want to just, that is my sadhana. Whenever thoughts come, I stop. Then it is better you become a stone or something. The stone doesn't have any thoughts. So thoughtlessness is not the purpose. Always keep mind engaged in the Paramatma Chintanam, Atma Chintanam, I am Brahma. Or at least you can't go there that much. At least you say, I am witness of this body. That much we can appreciate. Or I appreciate that Every relationship is useful but temporary. I have come alone, I will go alone. Think like this, which will make you objective, not cynical, objective, so that you don't get too much stuck with anybody. To relate to the world is not a problem. To get stuck with anybody or anything in the world, that is a problem. Sitting on the chair is not a problem, but sitting with gum on the chair, that's a problem. Sitting is not a problem, you should sit on the chair. But don't put gum on the chair or on yourself and sit there. That's difficult, especially M-seal or something you have put. No, very difficult. M-seal is very powerful. So, don't take that. Have relationship with the world. Also, Mr. Puja Swamiji very nicely says, life is nothing but relating. Relating to the world is life. See, now you are alive. Why you are relating to my speech? I am alive because I am relating to you. Relating is life. Otherwise, even though physically a person is alive, but he is functionally dead if he is not relating. That's what they call that, brain dead. So, his person is alive, but he is not really, functionally is not alive. So, relating to the world is life only, and therefore not a problem. But getting stuck in relationship. Move, learn to move ahead. Don't get stuck with anything or anyone. That type of appreciation, that I have come alone, I will go alone. Like that, some thought which is helping you to grow in your spiritual pursuit. Those type of thoughts should be positively entertained. I bring in those thoughts. And therefore, mat paraha finally means nididhyasana parayanaha. So may one remain, may sadhaka remain committed to nididhyasana. And again he emphasizes, vashehi yasya indriyani. The person whose organs are vashe, having the mastery, a person whose organs are mastered, tasya prajna pratisthita. For that person, knowledge will become abiding. And thus, Bhagavan Sri Krishna highlighted the importance of Dhamma, and in this shloka highlighted the importance of Shama and Nididhyasana. So, three sadhanas, all three together are mentioned in this shloka: Dhamma, Shama and Nididhyasana. All three are important for getting Dhananishta. Now, in the next two shlokas, Bhagavan is suggesting the importance of Shama, the mastery over the mind, mastery over the qualities of thought. If you are not alert with reference to your mental life and you are helplessly thinking about certain things, then what all consequences you have to face, all those steps are given in the next two shlokas, where it is shown that how person can go down if there is no alertness with reference to one's mental life. So as I told you, we need not be judgmental or we need not be obsessed about our mental life, but we need to be alert about our mental life. That is suggested in the next two shlokas. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha Sangasteshu pajayate Sangat sanjayate kamaha Kamat krodho vijayate Krodhat bhavati sammohaha Sammoha smriti vibhramaha Smriti bhramshad buddhinashaha Buddhinashad pranashyati. So here 8 steps of downfall are described. So how a person can fall gradually. Any big issue starts with only small matter only. They say even big wars, they start in the mind of some people. Some thought comes that this country is against our national interest. A thought came, and then slowly it is built up, shared, repeated. Then finally we will end up in attack and all this. So in our life we can see that what all big issues we had, they had a small seed. And when it is small, generally we ignore it. In Shastra there is a very beautiful shloka which says, Jata matram na yash shatrum vyadhim va prashamam nayet ati pushtanga yuktopi sapaschat tena hanyat. He says, when disease is just born, or the enemy which is just born, if it is not handled in initial stage, then afterwards, even though person is very powerful, but still he can be or she can be destroyed. Therefore, we need not be a hypochondriac or something. But when some disease is persisting, then we need to attend to it. Some people are very careless. They don't take care of health, and afterwards they get into a big issues. Therefore, when it is growing, that time you need not at the first day itself you go to the hospital. Then all the days you have to go to the hospital. Something or the other will be happening. But we see that for 2-3 days, in spite of your doing all home remedies, it is not going. Better consult. Some people are afraid of going for medical test. You know why? Because the Swamiji, something will come out. And Swamiji, they will stop my all indulgence, They will say, no sugar, no salt, बस मुरमुरा खा सकते हैं. So, means that मुरमुरा means puff rice. So, people are afraid. That is not a good approach. We need not be obsessive about health. Health freak we should not be. We need not be. But necessary care for the health, necessary attention on health should be given. Many people, they do not take care of their car properly. Some brake is not working properly, accelerator is not working properly, or some lights not working properly. They careless, and that make them end up in accident. Therefore, in life, without being obsessive, we pay attention to those things which need our attention. And that is the message Bhagavan is giving, that from the beginning itself, you be careful that how liking for something is developed, which will end up in losing even human status. He says, pranashyati, person is destroyed. So all these 8 steps are given, which we'll see in the next.